You're finally going to take full advantage of your power in ovulation and not burn out. These are your most magnetic and high energy days, so I know you want to do it all, and you can. We just got to make sure that you're doing it smartly. Hi, girly. I'm Marilee. I'm a certified menstrual coach, and when it comes to your cycle, I'm here to help you get it together. Welcome back to another episode in our Balanced Babe series where we're learning how to actually balance your hormones in 2025. If you've ever felt unstoppable in your cycle, like you're just full of energy, you're social, you're vibrant, you can take on the world, congratulations. You're an ovulation babe. This is your peak phase, and this episode is going to help you make sure that you're using it to its fullest potential. We're going to be talking about how to harness this magnetic high energy phase to maximize your productivity, your confidence, and your overall hormone health. Part one: what's actually happening in ovulation? During this phase, estrogen is at its peak, which means increased mood, increased focus, and increased energy. Luteinizing hormone, aka LH, is going to trigger ovulation, where an egg is released from the ovaries. Now, keep in mind, I like to consider that the ovulation phase be anywhere between like 3 to 4 days, essentially. Ovulation itself, where the egg is released, is really a quick process that happens within the span of 24 hours. But I firmly believe that you can still feel the effects of, ovulation through at least a couple days, maybe five if you're lucky, right? Where I like to say that my ovulatory phase starts is when I start to see the appearance of clear cervical mucus. And then ovulation pretty much ends on the last day that you would have seen that clear cervical mucus after you've ovulated. If you want more information about cervical mucus, make sure you check out one of the previous podcast episodes. I believe it was Stop Guessing Your Menstrual Cycle, How to Track It Like a Pro. I believe in that episode, I talk about different ways to track your cycle, cervical mucus being one of them. So make sure you run, don't walk back to that episode so that way you can be fully up to date as we're here. Also, during ovulation, testosterone is fully risen and at its peak. So, hello, confidence, hello, assertiveness, and hello, libido. Now, keep in mind, this is your most fertile phase. Do with that what you will. And also, your body is going to be at its peak in terms of physical and social energy. During ovulation, you are literally glowing from the inside out. You have this natural boost of energy and confidence and charisma. This is the time to push forward, to make your voice heard, and make bold decisions because, girly, your hormones are in your corner. They've got your back. They are ready for you to do whatever you need to do. They are backing you 100% of the way. Part two: how are we going to support our hormones during ovulation? Well, of course, we're going to eat. I love eating as a way to support and balance my hormones. I really truly believe food is medicine. So, during this phase, your metabolism is super active. So, try to focus on high protein, healthy fats, and moderate carbs. You definitely want to be eating a lot of vitamin rich foods like leafy greens, citrus fruits, bell peppers. Like all of these things are really going to help support your immune system and also boost collagen production, which you will already be looking fine in ovulation. Okay. So, eating these foods will also just stimulate more collagen and just make you look extra kissed, right? You also want to make sure that you're getting a lot of zinc and magnesium rich foods because you really want to be supportive of ovulation and overall hormone balance. Also, zinc is a really important building block for progesterone in the next phase. This is something that's really key for you to remember throughout the entirety of your life. Whatever you do in the previous phase, that's what's going to set you up for the next phase. So don't just think that you need to do well in your ovulation phase so that you can have a good ovulation. You want to do well in your ovulation phase to support your ovulation and to also support your luteal phase, which is next. Whatever you do in your luteal phase, that's going to show up in your menstrual phase. Whatever you do in your menstrual phase, that's going to show in your follicular phase. And that's how you kind of get into this cycle of just like constant like lethargy, low energy, um, fatigue because you're not setting yourself up properly for your next phase. If you're not taking your care of yourself in one phase, it's going to trickle and snowball down into the other phases. And then you're just like, help, I'm falling and I can't get up. And girl, life alert is not going to save you. Okay. So that's why we really got to pay attention and focus on getting the necessary nutrients that we need in the proper phases. If you're someone who does seed cycling, which I am, I love seed cycling. If you don't know what that is, go back to the next video. That'll explain it a little bit more. But basically, it's when you're alternating different seeds depending on what phase of your cycle you're in. You eat pumpkin and flax seeds during the first part of your cycle, the first half. So before ovulation. And then you eat sunflower and sesame seeds in the next phases after. During your ovulation phase, that's when you want to start cycling in those sunflower and sesame seeds. They are going to help you metabolize excess estrogen, and they're also high in zinc, which again, you want to have because you're going to need that to build progesterone in your next phase. And the metabolizing of excess estrogen is really, really important because that's going to help keep your estrogen levels in check, which increased estrogen levels tend to cause a lot of problems that show up as PMS symptoms later on. Foods to avoid: excess sugar, processed foods, caffeine. This is pretty much the same across all phases. Too much sugar can spike your insulin and disrupt your hormones. And processed foods tend to have a lot of like endocrine disrupting chemicals. It's just like, it's not worth it. Like, I'm not gonna say you can't have it, but just be mindful, do everything in moderation, have things in moderation. It's a snack for a reason. You don't want to be eating it all the time. I did talk about this tip in the last video, but I will mention it again here. If you're going to have sugar by itself, like try not to have sugar by itself, like at all. If you're going to have sugar, let it be a dessert that comes at the end of a meal. But if you're out, you're socializing, you're going out for drinks and you can't help it, try to have a little vinegar beforehand. That's going to help curb your glucose spike and level out that curve to make sure that not as much insulin goes into your bloodstream and throws your hormones out of whack. So that's a little tip that you can do. Again, learn this from the glucose goddess on Instagram. I read it in her book, The Glucose Revolution, an amazing book. Please check it out. But we will talk more about specific dietary functions and processes that are going to help our systems later on. But you can get introduced to that through her social media and through her book right away. Now, when it comes to ovulation, you can usually feel when the egg is being released. And for some people, this is really painful. For some, it's like a little pinch, but for some, it's like like a stab a little bit. And that pain can last anywhere from like a few minutes to even a day or two. And scientifically, there is a name for pain during ovulation or from ovulation. It's a German name, so if I butcher it, I'm so sorry. But I believe it's pronounced Mittelschmerz, and it's pretty common. And along with like light exercise and stretching, there are some foods and minerals that can kind of help you address Mittelschmerz or pain that you might be feeling during ovulation. Magnesium is so good for you guys. Magnesium is a natural muscle relaxer that can really kind of help loosen up that area. And again, magnesium can be found in pumpkin seeds, flax seeds, which, if you're cycle syncing and you were taking those seeds before in the previous phase, that should kind of be helping you a bit. You can also get magnesium in almonds, and that can help you as well. Also, chamomile and ginger turmeric tea are very anti inflammatory, and that can also help reduce pain and irritation that you might be experiencing. And this isn't food, but a warm bath can improve blood flow and kind of encourage your body to relax, which can also help with pain that you might be experiencing and would also be a really great way for you to remember to slow down in this busy bee like phase. The key thing to remember here is to fuel your body with nutrient dense, balanced meals that are overall going to support your energy, your fertility, and your well being. You are also going to move your body with purpose and intention. For me, the best workouts that I love to do during this phase are a lot of strength training, like you have a lot more energy here, so you can kind of lift heavier and longer. And that's all due to your energy and being at its peak. Thank you. We love it. I love doing cardio. So, like anything with like HIIT or like dancing or cycling. Those things kind of really help you feel the rush of endorphins and you're just like immersed in it and you can just really make the most of your workout. It's really amazing. You're just fully taking advantage of your body's stamina right now. But also, with all of that high energy and intense working out, you also want to be doing a lot of stretching and limber work. And honestly, stretching can be uncomfortable a lot of the times, but it's not as uncomfortable for me when I'm stretching in my ovulatory phase. And I find that it just really helps me stay loose in terms of like going with the flow of everything and just making me feel even more confident, actually. What you don't want to do in this phase is overdo it with super intense cardio if you're not applying appropriate recovery recovery protocols. But again, you do what's best for you. I am never going to dictate what you should and should not be doing. You know your body the best, not me. Trust yourself. I'm just kind of giving you suggestions on what works for me. I always have to feel like I give this disclaimer because people are so sensitive about the topic of cycle syncing and well, just because this works for you doesn't mean this doesn't work for everybody and you don't need to be prescribing things and blah blah blah. I'm not. Nope. No one's prescribing anything. General suggestions that you can take or leave at your will. Moving on. It's good to use this phase to tap into your most powerful energy and challenge your body with the strongest workouts that you would do compared to all of the other ones. Now, let's talk about ways that you can best maximize your productivity and your confidence in this phase. Your creativity is on fire here. Like your creativity was already through the roof in your follicular phase. Now it's just amazing. A full on Alicia Keys, this girl is on fire. Use that energy for masterful execution. This is a really great time for you to just plow through and get something done. Use all of that energy towards one thing. Like it's really great to focus in on like one or two things that are really important that you really want to get done. Again, you don't want to overdo it. This phase is short. This energy is very short lived. Remember, 3 to 4 days, guys, 3 to 4 days, maybe five if you're lucky. So it's really great if you focus in on like one or two specific things that you want to get done and drive all of your energy into those things. I promise if you can get into the habit of optimizing that every single month, you are going to see such a rapid increase in your productivity. And when it comes to your words, speaking is a lot easier in this phase than it normally is. And like luteal, for example, like I'm in my late luteal right now, and it's a little bit harder for me to get things executed fully. Dang, I feel like I already had a video where I literally said the same thing where I was like, yeah, I'm in my late luteal. It's a little hard for me to talk. I don't know why I keep throwing myself in situations where I'm talking in luteal, but that's the way the cookie is crumbling right now, y'all. But when you're in your ovulatory phase, this is a great time for you to do public speaking, for you to pitch new ideas, make bold moves and bold statements. Your words will not betray you here. And if they do, maybe you just need to practice them a little bit more. But naturally, you should kind of have an effortless glow into speaking because your charisma is at an all time high. And with that, you want to be networking, you want to be collaborating, you want to be socializing. You are naturally magnetic in this phase. People will want to be around you. Take advantage of that and not in a manipulative kind of way. You just want to know how to work the room, period. And that can also cause you to take leadership of things or initiative of new creative endeavors. Now, here's a warning. This phase feels really, really good. Don't get lost in the sauce. When you feel like you can take on the world, it is so important to also build in the proper time to rest. Much like what I was saying before with the workout thing, you got to be building in your recovery time. You have to be building in your social recovery time and your physical recovery time and your mental recovery time in this phase too. Make sure that you're doing everything that you can to prioritize getting sleep. Using a lot of this energy is draining and you can burn out and drain all of your energy prematurely before the phase is even over. And then you're like, man, I thought I still had like another 2 days. What happened? So, really focus on trying to get good sleep and have some quiet time in the midst of all the chaos of life that's going to be happening because you're in this phase. Try to get off of your phone at least 30 minutes before bed. Read a book instead. Don't scroll. Read a book, let your mind actually wind down and give itself like time to kind of get into that space where it's like, okay, let me focus on going to bed so that way you can have a more productive sleep and be even more high energy the next day. And now we're getting to the part of the podcast where we're wrapping up, and I, of course, have to leave you with some biblical inspiration through a verse. And today's verse for ovulation is coming from Proverbs 31:25. She is clothed in dignity and strength. She can laugh at the days to come. I like to think that during ovulation, you are 100% embodying the strength and confidence of a Proverbs 31 woman. This is your time to stand tall, to make decisions, to get things done, and take bold action, knowing that you already have everything that you need to succeed. Honoring this phase means embracing your natural power, speaking up, and being unapologetic about your goals and desires. You want to embrace your inner power and confidence. Like, ovulation is the perfect time to shine and step boldly into your purpose. Whether you're making moves in your career or networking with confidence or just simply loving the energy that your body gives you, make the most of this phase and let your body's natural rhythm lead you to success. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed the second episode of the series. Before you go, I need to have you do some action items for me. I need you to track your ovulation and see how you're feeling. What's buzzing for you in this phase? Tell me about it in the comments. Tag me on Instagram at Merrily or even my TikTok at Merrily. Comment on something, be like, hey girly, this is how I'm feeling. And I want you to take one bold step today. Say what you want to say, send that email, start a new project, or speak your truth in a meeting. Take a bold step. And if it's a more personal thing that you want to take a bold step, maybe you're taking a bold step in balancing your hormones by trying a new food, or lessening the amount of sugar that you had, or saving that cookie for after dinner instead of in the middle of the day. Take that bold step. You won't regret it, I promise. Be blessed. I'll see you in the next one.